EA. Challenge everything, including common sense. So, yeah, everyone is aware of EA's problems regarding Star Wars Battlefront 2. The microtransaction issue is causing some lawmakers to consider regulating loot boxes, specifically just loot boxes or loot crates in gaming, which, you know, the industry is going to have to start regulating itself when it comes to that in general, not just Battlefront 2. EA had a quarterly earnings call wherein CEO Andrew Wilson gave a defense of the company's portfolio and reputation. So an analyst was asking this question. Apparently it was coupled with the success of FIFA. Here's the question that was asked to the CEO. The last couple years you've talked a lot about diversifying away from non-sports titles. And unfortunately, a lot of the non-sports titles have performed below expectations. As a post-mortem, can you give us some examples of areas you see for opportunity to improve your ability to execute and consistently deliver the titles and really drive non-sports franchises through the company? And here's what Andrew Wilson had to say. This is a bit of a long response. I do want to say everything that he says, just so that I'm not taking anything out of context, but it's all relevant to this microtransaction thing. As I look back on the last few years and we think about The Sims, which has continued to perform year after year, Battlefield 1, which I think was certainly the biggest Battlefield and maybe the biggest shooter of that year, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, which is a new IP that has done well across 2 iterations, Dragon Age Inquisition, which in that year, 2014, was Game of the Year. Even you look at Mass Effect, and while there was some polarizing sentiment in that franchise, it's actually performed really well, and player engagement is really strong. And then, of course, across mobile, SimCity Build It, The Sims Freeplay, and Star Wars Galaxy Heroes are all highly successful in their own markets. So as I take a 50,000-foot view and look at the breadth and depth of our portfolio across all the games we make, and if you look at 2017 in aggregate, we were the highest reviewed publisher across our entire portfolio, so there's a lot of real goodness there. With all that said, that doesn't mean we are perfect, and there are always learning opportunities for us, and we are a learning company. And as you look through our history over the last 3 or 4 years, there have been times we didn't get it right. We have put our player-first commitment at the forefront of everything we do, and we have worked tirelessly to ensure that we are able to support and sustain them with the kind of experiences they expect from us. So that has meant we have changed some beta processes, we have changed some testing processes, we have changed some of the ways we've designed, we have changed some of the ways we go to market. And as a company, we will always be learning and always evolving and always making the right changes in service of our players. But on balance, I think we've had a really, really strong run on sports and non-sports. Okay. Your player-first commitment? I about laughed out loud when I first read that. What is player first about introducing gambling to children playing a Star Wars game?
It's like real war. You don't know who's going to win.
And as for them being a learning company, so Star Wars Battlefront 2 didn't perform as well as they had hoped. It sold about 1 million less copies than what their goal was. All right? So, and they blame that. They know that it's about the microtransactions in that game. They took out the microtransactions, and they did say that it was going to be a temporary takeaway, that they were probably going to come back at a later time. Learning company, remember? In that same report that they said that Star Wars Battlefront 2 underperformed, they said that they were going to be bringing back the microtransactions because it didn't sell well because of the microtransactions. So I'm a burger company, and people don't like my burgers because, let's say, I'm putting Dijon mustard on it instead of yellow mustard on it. So, to help with the sales, I change over to yellow mustard. But, and all this news has gotten out that I put Dijon mustard that people don't like on their burgers on my burgers, and people don't buy them. But I'm going to change back to Dijon mustard a few months later. Just 'cause. Would that be a smart business decision or a dumb one? One guess. The thumbs up and the smile, I hope, mean dumb. Because that would be the right answer. I mean, seriously, though, EA... Come on. There's no learning that has taken place here.
I think my favorite sentence, a part of that was, and if you look at 2017 in aggregate, we were the highest reviewed publisher across our entire portfolio. So there's a lot of real goodness in there. I don't know if he means they were reviewed highly or if they were just the most reviewed.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Because if he's saying they were highly reviewed, you're wrong. And if you're saying you were reviewed, or you were the most reviewed, you would be right. You probably were the most reviewed company of the year.
Because they're a monster of a games company, and they release so many games. I'm sorry, but if there's a winner to 2017 with video games, it's Nintendo.
It's like... It's like the heads of EA were just like, look, there's no way this is going to go well. Just... You're on your own. Say whatever you want. And it's his job to make it sound as positive as he can make it.
Sure.
And he's just sitting there just like... I can imagine him doing the entire interview with just a blank stare. Not a smile on his face. Just, I'm just saying words.
When you've got to turn... Okay, so... If you are Rovio and you turn to your mobile games portfolio and say, this is how strong we're doing as a company. You're Rovio. Yeah, you make mobile games. When you are EA and you point to your mobile games portfolio as a sign of success, dude. Again, back to the restaurant. Well, I sell plenty of drinks. You're not known for your drinks, you're known for your burgers. EA, you are known for your AAA experiences. And Battlefront was one of those franchises that was supposed to come back after a long hiatus and be amazing again. And you messed it up.
It's because it's like... What they did was they dressed it up. They were like, we're bringing it back. It's going to look beautiful. Look at this. Doesn't it look amazing? Doesn't it sound great? And you're just like, oh, well, it does. It's like a pretty girl. Just comes out of nowhere. This very pretty girl comes out of nowhere, starts talking to you, and it's like, wow, there's like, you're beautiful. Wow, you look great.
But there's emptiness.
And then you find out she's addicted to meth. And you're just like...
Oh boy, if I date you, this is going to be expensive.
It's like, I want out. This is bad.
Oh gosh.
This is bad. I shouldn't have just judged you by your looks. Which is what a lot of people did in that game.
Yes.
The first one. The second one, people should have known better.
Right.
But they didn't.
Hey, we included a campaign. Hey, you included a lot of crappy microtransactions.
And now this pretty girl is like, hey, I'll stop doing meth if you give me
For a few
$100 every week.
For a few months.
I'll do the meth again in a few months, but you'll get to see me as a kind of decent person. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and yes, yeah, you are right. As the CEO, he's supposed to spin everything in a positive light. It's always a good thing, and if you mess up, it's a learning experience, and all of that happy-go-lucky stuff that's just corporate nonsense. I've already seen Battlefront 2 for sale for under half the price that it launched at. I mean, it's doing badly.
When a game that was made 2 generations ago is still at its sell date, the opening day release, and you just released a game for Star Wars and it is $30, you messed up. I'm talking about Xenoblade. Because I'm pretty sure that game is still, $60, $70?
Smash Brothers Brawl still sells for $50.
And that was the worst one out of the series. People say.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Visually, I like it a bit more than anything else because I like the realistic look, and I also like the Subspace Emissary, but slipping was what made it bad.
I would still play it over 64 Smash any day of the week. I would. Come on. So yeah, EA. So from us, no one is buying this, and what you need to. I know what you're planning. What you're probably planning is, well, we just need to be smarter about how we implement microtransactions.
No, you need to sell out.
No, you just need to stop. There's plenty of extra stuff you can sell us that we would be willing to spend extra money on. I think DLC that's worth it has proven to be something which enhances your game. When you have upgrades be completely random, or unlockables be completely random, and then, oh, by the way, if you want to unlock them faster but still not actually pay for them, just pay for a chance to win them in a game of chance, no one's going to want to do that.
What if they came in with DLC characters? It's like, you can buy the DLC, or you could win them in loot boxes. How many people you think would actually buy them in loot boxes? Because someone's going to think, the chances of me getting them in loot boxes, I could possibly spend less money than buying the DLC.
I mean, there are probably gambling-oriented people out there that, sure, they like the thrill of it.
No, people would do it. There'd be people that do it.
Oh,
it's
man.
I won't have to spend $30 on 5 characters. Yeah.
But I can get all of them for $5. Yeah. Well, just saying, Microsoft, you want to cut that check, whatever it is, you'd be doing us all a favor.
And then EI gets all proud. Like, no, we can't be bought out. We did nothing wrong. Microsoft's just like, okay.
Sure.
Whatever you say.
All right, PUBG Corp. Who do we write this out to?